Tonight on Thursday Night Therapy, we dive into how the lifestyle of Karrine Steffans' groupie lifestyle, as described in her book, caused the divorce of recently passed CEO Irv Gotti. Check out the preview.
The truth of the matter with me and Deb is Deb was never that person, and I knew that. Listen, Deb don't cook, Deb don't clean, she ain't doing none of it. She don't do the basic. She gotta cook, clean, and be a full-blown whore for me. Oh man, come on.
And we also discuss, does getting married have any benefits tonight on Thursday Night Therapy? Let's get to the show. This is my father, Big Chuck. He taught me the pimp mentality from the crib, so I was never faithful in any relationship. Until one day, 6 years ago, I looked at all the broken hearts and pain that I caused and decided it was time to level up. So now I'm a happily married man who still doesn't stand for the trick mentality that is destroying our community.
I'm Champagne, a single woman on a journey to build a life rooted in self-love, balance, and authenticity. I'm exploring the ups and downs of personal growth, embracing independence, and creating space for joy, peace, and purpose. Whether you're on a similar path or just curious about the ride, this is your space to feel seen, inspired, and empowered.
I'm Dante. I'm the realest of the group. I'm once married and now divorced and dating as a single father. Here to bring a grounded perspective, pushing past all the fluff and get into the heart of what really matters.
What's up, you guys? Welcome to Thursday Night Therapy. Things you talk to your therapist about. The show where we dive into the good, the bad, and the downright awkward conversations we all have, or maybe should have, in therapy. So, tonight's topic, is there any benefit to get married? But before we get into that, please take a moment to like, share, and subscribe. Hit that notification bell so that every time that we go live, just know that we are ready for you to come with us. So, just a reminder, tonight's topic, is it any benefit to getting married? Let's dive into it. But first, let's talk current events.
What's up, everybody? First of all, I want to just give a, my condolences. We lost another one, Irv Gotti. He passed away. From what I understand, he had like a stroke or something like that. And I think that was the reason why he passed away. Hold on, let me see something. I'm going to just cue this up because I got to at least show this real quick. And then we're going to get into this thing. Hold on. See window. All right, here we go. Yeah. Okay. But yeah, just shout out to Irv Gotti. And like I said, I mean, he did so much as a young man. He founded, he was the CEO of Murder Inc. He put out, acts like Ja Rule, Ashanti, Lloyd, and it did countless other things. I mean, he's just been around and, he did his thing as a young man. He was a very smart guy. And he made it, and he did his thing, man. So we got to, salute Irv Gotti. And, another thing is, that we have to get into is, as a young man and being successful and everything. Everybody knows, like, more of a story or whatever. But, as a young man, he was married to a beautiful woman named, her name was Deb Lorenzo. And he had 3 beautiful children by her. 2 of them was his natural, and then he actually adopted her older daughter, and and she was a nice looking woman and everything. Like she was very just naturally beautiful. I'm gonna bring up her picture real quick. Hold on a second. Bring her picture up so y'all can see who he was married to. Hold on. Let's see. This is her right here. Share it here. Okay, but this is her. This was definitely, this is her, like I said, without makeup or whatever. If you watch the show Gotti's Way, you would just see she was just a sweet woman. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, he had a good girl at the crib. He was still trying to actually have his cake and eat it too. Like, he wanted to buy her. He bought her a crib, but he was coming over every weekend. But he had his own apartment in the city. You know what I'm saying? He was just doing like little stuff like that. And I'm going to show you guys just part of Gotti's Way. And, some of the things that, what his mentality was at the time. So hold on, listen up to this. Here we go.
I wanted children. She gave me my angel in Sunny. Then I got Angie, JJ's on set. I got my 2 boys. I'm a catch. See? And with that's what. If you remove the cheating aspect of my life, I'm a really good guy, yo.
You're gonna be lonely.
I know how you feel about your kids.
Listen, you see couples all day and night living the life, and that is not something that I want to do.
All right. Now, as you see on there, you know, he had the wife and everything set up at the crib, but it's just something about these freaks out here that man cannot resist. I don't get it. And like I said, he had, and I'm gonna show you too. He had. Let me take her off here. He had he had a group. He had a big time, the most famous groupie in his camp. Her name was Karrine Steffans, right? I'm gonna show you a picture of her. She actually wrote a book called Confessions of a Video Vixen. This is one of one of her pictures or whatever the case may be. She wrote Confessions of the Video Vixen, in which she illustrates where she basically was Murder Inc.'s slave. Like she would do anything that they told her to do. If they said, hey, hey, I got 5 dudes in there, I need you to break them off, she would do whatever. You know what I'm saying? So he could not resist this type of lifestyle with these type of women. So he had to be out here in these streets. He could not be settled at home. He was a young man. I'll say, like, during the time of this, he was probably like in his early 30s, maybe early to mid 30s. And it was just like, these women out here, he just could not get away from them. And to the day he died, I mean, he divorced and he just stayed out here in these streets. He didn't want, he had 2 nice sons. They was crying when he got divorced. If you watch the series, go watch that series called Gotti's Way. This is where I got some of the excerpts from. And you would just see, like, I mean, just, as an older man, you could just see that. Like I said, when I was young, I was out here too. I had a wife at home and I still was out here in these streets. But man, if you just look at that and just, why do these type of women we just can't stay away from them, even though we know they're poison for us and our relationships and our lifestyle, even though that's going to affect our kids, it's going to affect everything, our money, all that. But we just cannot stay away from these type of women. So I just need to, ask y'all, how y'all feel about this situation. I know y'all know a little bit about the situation. So tell me a little bit, how you feel about it.
I'll let you go, Dante, since he's a part of the light skin crew and y'all represent him. So go ahead.
Man, well, first off, RIP to my man Irv. Man, that was a surprise and a shock. Came out of nowhere. He ended up in the hospital after a stroke, and then it was literally a matter of days from there that they announced that he didn't make it. So RIP on that end. Okay, I got the respectful part out of the way. RIP to Irv, the man. Sometimes because of money, some men end up in places they ordinarily wouldn't end up without money. And I think that Irv Gotti was a really good example of that. And a lot of times,
I know what you're saying.
Don't do that, sis. Don't do that. It's okay if I call him ugly, but you can't call him ugly.
I can't call your people ugly, all right.
Not very smooth. I remember the Ashanti situation. I think it was maybe last year, where bro was just in social media and it sounded like he just was thirsty or jealous, and like everybody was getting on him. Just his movements, the way he speak, even I'm a catch, even all that. For me personally, a situation where, man, a guy had a lot of money and he ended up in a place where he probably never would have been otherwise. I don't think that Irv would have ever had a wife that was as sweet and as attractive if he didn't have money. I don't think Irv would have been surrounded by women like Karrine Steffans if he didn't have money. I don't think that he would have had a shot in hell with Ashanti. Even for the little bit, it sounded like he didn't really have a shot, but even for the little bit of time he did spend with the chick, if he didn't have money, if he didn't have that business that he had, he wouldn't be in those places. So I think Irv is an example of someone having a little bit more than they're prepared to take on. It is not an easy job to turn down vagina. It's not easy. And it's probably even harder for someone who had trouble getting vagina his entire life in the first place. So I'm gonna stop there for now, and I'm gonna let you jump on for a second, sis, and tell me how you feel.
I am now about to join your Let's Rag on Irv Gotti parade. All right, I'm not going to join. But since you already leading it, let me say this: he did say that he was a catch. Remove the cheating aspect, and I just want to correct the record that he also had numerous criminal issues, and he was fighting some lawsuits from the previous year that he had sexually abused some women over a couple years. He also stole money. He had some issues with McGriff, the drug lord Kenneth McGriff.
Supreme,
Supreme. Yeah, he had issues with him. So Irv had like a lot going on with himself. He also had already had a stroke previously. And he suffered from diabetes, so he really didn't take care of himself. What I'm going to share, my takeaway from this gentleman is that you got to slow down. You got to take care of your health. You got all this money, but you still don't. If you still don't take care of yourself, you're still going to see the same end as people who are poor. So I would say take this moment. And there's a high number of Black men who don't seek medical attention, who don't go to doctors, who don't really take care of their health. And it wasn't until it was too late that he tried to do better. So, he tried to eat more better and try to exercise more. But, by that time, your body's already pretty much weakened from that first stroke. So I urge all of my Black men out here, make sure, take care of your health. Go to the doctor, get seen, get checked, live a better life, live these hoes alone. Like, I know these hoes, it's to me, it's like a selfish thing. You just want it. You are not going to die if you don't get a hoe. There is not, if anything, you're going to save money if you don't have a hoe. Okay. So take care of yourself, guys. Leave these hoes alone.
Right. And it's just like, it's so like ironic, man. I mean, like, when you're not in a relationship, and when you're out in the wilderness, man, you don't know what's, your lifestyle is different. You out here partying, doing all types of sorts of things. You're not grounded, and you don't really have nobody that's really looking out for you for real. Like, that's just telling you, like, no, you need to come home. You know what I'm saying? You're not grounded to anything. So you out here living a different lifestyle. And as we get older, man, we can't do the same thing we was doing when we was younger. You know what I'm saying? Like,
y'all trying to talk about the topic tonight.
Right. So, we just cannot, we cannot continue to do that, man. It's harder when we get older, man. So, I think, like, if he would have stayed married, I think he would have lived longer if he would have stayed married and listened to his wife and was more grounded. You know what I'm saying? I think he would have lived a healthier lifestyle. You know what I'm saying? But but like I said, the streets call. So, but anyway, okay. So let's go ahead and get into our subject. You know what I'm saying? Is there any benefit to being married? And that kind of like, it corresponds to what I was saying about being married. Like, I'm just going to go by, a couple benefits of being married, and then you guys can, follow up. Okay. The first thing, like I said, to being married, like, marriage is one of the most faith-based actions that you can actually take as a man or a woman, because you don't really know what the end result is going to be. Everybody can talk a good game, but you really don't know until you in the trenches with them if they're going to stay there. So marriage is basically faith. You know what I'm saying? You have to believe that this thing is going to work, and hopefully it does, because nothing in life is guaranteed. And, when you get married to somebody and you open yourself up to them, this is the one person that can actually hurt you if you really care about this person. You know what I'm saying? And there's by multitude of ways. I mean, like I said, they cheat on you. They can have health things, pass away. They can, be not financially responsible. It's just so many different ways that, when you open yourself to another person, that this person can really affect your life, because you're putting all your cards on the table. Now, like I said, when you have money, though, I think that it's a little bit different, because now, you have all these assets, and it's really not necessarily love that's bringing you guys together. It's a love that she or he has for your money, and you have for her beauty. So it's like, it's a little bit different, I think, when you're rich, because you could set, parameters aside so you don't get took. But for the most part, I think that, like I said, marriage is a benefit, you know what I'm saying? Because there's so many different things. Now with you, Dante, like, how did you view marriage? Did you feel that it was beneficial in your first marriage?
That's a heavy question, love doctor. Yeah, I mean, the thing is, within my first marriage, I was initially distracted with procreating. I was on a mission. And so it was doing exactly what it was supposed to do. We had children, we reproduced. Very happy with how the products came out. They're good. I ain't had to throw none back or nothing. So I was probably a little bit distracted on the children, them being carried, them being born, how they were being cared for, making sure to do my part as a dad and all of those things. So I was distracted a lot by family, but the thing is, as a family, is a great benefit. That's one of those things that we all get to make it our own. Even though some of us are family, none of us have the same family. Because that direct family relationship that you have, it's genuine and unique to just you all who are in that household or who share it or whatever the case. So yeah, I mean, I got a lot more to say on the subject. We early into this thing. There are certainly benefits to marriage. Sometimes there aren't. I remember the reason that we even came across this topic in the first place.
Yeah.
But because my sis up here, my sis said just blatantly, like, she didn't feel like there was much of a benefit to it anymore. So I'd actually like to hear a little bit more from you, sis.
Wow. Listen, I mean, lightweight, specifically for women, I really don't see a benefit in getting married. And let me preface that we were talking in the chat, so I could not really expound on what my views are. It was really just straight from the hip. So when I say that there's no benefit, if you don't find someone who is your equal, who's your partner, who fits whatever it is that you're looking for, right? Whatever that may be, if you believe in 50-50, 100-100, whatever that may be the case. If you don't find that person who fits you, it's really no benefit for you to get married. If you don't want to be married, all right, there is no benefit for being married. Before, back in the day when women had to stay married, or it was incentivized to stay married, they couldn't get a bank account, they couldn't get loans, they couldn't get credit cards. If they were divorced, they were ostracized. There were times where they were stuck with the kids, men could up and leave, and she just had to sit there and take care of it. John Rockefeller, for an example. John Rockefeller, one of the Rockefellers, one of the richest families in the United States. His dad was a bum ass nigga. Like, he was a bum. And he would go and he would grift, he'd come back, see him for a little bit, and he'd be gone. So for her, it was necessary for her to have some type of protection because she had all these kids and he can up and leave whenever he wanted to. So it just was not a benefit for women. And I don't think it's a major benefit for women today. And I think that if you don't get married, it's not the end of the world. And if you get married and you get a divorce, it's still not the end of the world. But I just don't see the point in it.
So do you see do you feel that way related to being in a relationship with a man, period, or marriage? So in other words, do you feel that way related to having a man around, or are you speaking relative to specifically the union of marriage?
I'm speaking relative to marriage. I don't even think that if you don't have a man that you're necessarily a failure or that you're a bum. Or I do feel that if you want a partner and you find yourself a good man, I feel that it can benefit you. I feel like marriage benefits men way more than it benefits women. which is why it's very important for women to pick the correct men. I see these faces. I cannot wait to get into it. Yes. I can't wait. All right. I'm like locked and loaded. I can't wait. But yeah, I see it more beneficial for men. So it's very important as a woman that you find the right man. And if you can't find the right man, I understand a woman not wanting to marry.
Well, see, this is my thing, man. I mean, Champagne represents the new age woman. Every time she talks about marriage or relationships, it sounds like you're signing up to be an indentured servant. You know what I mean? And that's not the case. I mean, listen, it depends on the type of person that you pick. That's the first thing. You have to pick the right person that you match with, and that's what you said in the beginning. If you're not choosing the right type of guy, then you're not going to get the right results. You know what I'm saying?
Don't do that.
But if you choose the right guy that can enhance your life, that can be there for you, a friend, somebody that you could travel with, you could just enjoy your life with, there's nothing higher that you can get in a relationship, period. So, I mean, and like I said, everything that I say means something in a functional relationship. If it's a dysfunctional relationship, then it could be extremely toxic and not good for you. So you shouldn't be in a toxic type relationship. If you're not getting the things out of it that you want, then you shouldn't be in it. So don't try to make something work that's not going to work. But like I said, there's so many benefits to being in a functional relationship. I mean, like I said, I think that women these days are just not raised to be a wife, man. They're just raised to be independent. They just want to do their own thing. They don't want to answer to nobody. They just want to go out here and just kick it or whatever. For real. So it's kind of saddening because, for you not to actually get to experience that, you know what I'm saying? I think is a travesty, man, for real, because you're not put on this earth to be alone, man. You know what I'm saying? God made, if that was the case, he would have just made one sex. God made man and women to be together. You know what I'm saying? So we could procreate and we could build and we could be happy. But like I said, if you pick the wrong person, then, it's just self-preservation. You know what I'm saying? You're not going to want to get hurt again. It's a naturally thing that your body has. Your mind subconsciously is not going to let you get hurt again. So if something goes down that way to where you feel like something's going wrong or whatever, then you're going to bail. Or you're going to automatically think that all men are the same and your whole experience is going to be the same with every man that you deal with. And that's not the case, man. Like I said, it's like I said in the beginning, marriage and relationships is all based on faith, man. Like, you got it. You can't give up faith, because if you do, you'll play in the safe zone and you'll always be in that mode to where, you're doing things by yourself. You're getting old. And I've seen so many older women, they be in the back of the church talking stuff, about everybody else's relationship. You know what I mean? Come on, man. So all I'm saying is, Champagne, just, give it a chance. Open yourself up a little bit. Start off by choosing the right guy. You know
it's hard for you to choose the right guy. Like we always talk about.
How's it hard?
It's always a gamble.
Now, of course, it's a gamble, but you got to look at the signs that you know what I'm saying? You can't just think everybody's going to just do everything. You know what I'm saying? Come on now.
Look, men are very adept. People are very adept at hiding things. I would say so well that a lot of guys don't even get new friends as they get older because they can't trust these niggas. So if men are telling you that they can't trust these niggas, why do y'all believe that women can trust these niggas? I don't understand that.
See, that's what
that is not why we don't get new. That's not why.
Yes.
We don't get new friends, but that's not why.
Why don't you get new friends? Yeah. Drake had a whole entire song. No new friends. No new friends. No new friends. No.
Do I look like Drake to you?
Yes.
Oh shit.
Right into that nigga. Checkpoint already.
Shit. Okay, so anyway, you know what? I love doing this with y'all because y'all be on two different sides, of the plane, and I can come in here. I can give y'all a little something in the middle. I can be the caramel in this thing, but I can give y'all a little something in the middle, man. Chuck, man, I love Doctor. You sound like a married man. I hear you over there. I hear the passion in your voice. And Champagne, sis, you sound like you've been single for a long time, baby.
Oh, wait till I get the facts.
So we bring this back in, but something that both of y'all said that I think is key was it's about finding that right person. So marriage can be a double-edged sword. It can take you up, but it can also take you down. And it all comes down to that person that you choose. Now, part two of this person that you choose. Here's the thing. All of us are individuals. And all of us as individuals have different aspects of our lives that would make them better. There's someone out there who has the ability to provide those things and enhance. And there's people who have the ability to take and strip away. So it is truly a double-edged sword. But should you find the person that is for you, the person that matches for you, there's plenty of benefit. But it starts with knowing where your deficiencies are. It starts with knowing what it is that you need. So, for example, part of the benefit that I find in having a wife or having a woman is for the, honestly, it may sound bad, but for the small things. Women are a lot more attention to detail. And for a lot of the small things that may take me a week or 2 weeks to get around to, I notice that my female counterpart typically jumps on that right away. So if it's something like, dang, I need to see what time that office closed. Men, we're bad. We're bad. Something as simple as like, I need to go up to the whatever office. And it's like, I need to see what time they close. A man will say that for 3 or 4 days in a row before he picks up his phone and Googles what time did this place close. But when you're riding with a female and you just, in the right female, excuse me, my kind of woman, and you just say out loud, I wonder what time that place closed. The women that I ride with in 30 seconds, they telling me what time the place closed. They're setting the appointment. They pre-filling out the application for me. If I got something going on and I start to conjure an idea relative to a business or something along those lines, and I begin to chop things down and do things. Again, the kind of woman that I match with, when I get to a pitfall, a stop, a procrastination point, yeah, I gotta get. It's those little things where she steps in and she handles that. The grocery shopping that I don't like to do, she does. Even the cooking, preparing of meals, the little bit of cleaning that I maybe don't like to do, she does. So those small things that are the opposite of me are the things that I find the most benefit in. A lot of people spend time looking for similarities in their partner. I want you to be just like me, and that's not really what it's designed for. When we come together and we accentuate the areas where the other maybe has failures, that's when we make that perfect being. That's when we become one, and that's when it's a benefit to both.
Yeah, but you name like those little things to you sound like a lot of things, and they start to add up. I don't think that one of the things that Chuck alluded to is that women don't know how to be wives, and that's a weird thing because the
I said they
assumption
weren't
is
raised.
they weren't raised to be wives. So
Yeah.
raised, don't know how to be wives, whatever may
Right.
be the case.
Yep.
But the assumption is that our grandparents liked being wives, and I don't understand why that assumption is there. And the only thing I could think of is we think because they were together for so long that they were happy, these unions were beneficial. But all of these women who have come after the grandparents, where do you think they learned that they're not really into marriage? From the grandmothers who were in these marriages for so long, and like grandpas pass things down to the grandson. These are the things that the grandmas are passing down, the aunties, the aunts. And it's not about being bitter. It's just when you named all that stuff, I was thinking about like, well, damn, what are you gonna do? If she's doing all these little things besides protecting and providing, what else are you gonna do for her? Like, how
The
does
the
she come
little
through that?
the little things for her. Like
Okay.
my woman don't pump gas champagne. Do
Okay.
you like pumping gas? Do you enjoy that?
How
Do you
often are you
enjoy
pumping
getting out of the
gas?
car? Do you enjoy getting out of the car at the gas station and niggas hollering at you? When you need an oil change, how happy are you to go take your car to get it done? Your brakes need done. How happy are you to do that? When somebody comes banging at the window or the door, how happy are you to get up and address it yourself? I want to do those things on top of helping to rear your children. I clean shit too. Take people places, take you out on dates. In addition, financially, we have more together. The businesses and things that you would like to start with a man like me, they'd be further along because of the support and the push that I would give in those areas. So the little things, maybe you stuck on, I want to get this thing off the ground. Again, A lot of the time, it's going to be your man that shoots you the startup money for that business. A lot of the time, it's going to be a man that drives you out of town or accompanies you or that pushes you to go places that you're scared to go. I don't really know. I don't like these kind of places. A lot of the time, that comes from, again, the right partner.
Right. That's
Yeah,
right.
yeah. I would venture though, and I would love for women to ask women the things that Dante are saying. If you guys are listening, I would be curious of what your experience with that type of dichotomy of someone who's giving you
They
money
don't
to
date
help
them
you
kind of
grow.
men. They don't date
I
them kind
mean,
of men. They don't like them kind.
I don't know if they don't like them. I don't think that they're not. That's not your average man. I don't
No,
think that's your average good man.
it's your average good man. Your average
I
good
think
man is
it's very
absolutely
few
going to
average
support
good
your
men.
dreams.
Yeah, I
Well,
think I don't think that's an abundance.
You got why you put a broad stroke? You got rose-colored glasses on. You make a broad stroke with all men. You know, I know a lot of good dudes that are married and that want to be married. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what type of dudes you're talking to, for real. Because listen, take it from a guy that was single all this time, and I'm gonna tell you, it's much better for me being married than it is being single, straight up.
Yeah.
You know, because I'm in a functional relationship. Now, remember, like a lot of the benefits of being married is that same thing. You in the danger zone when you single as a male. You know what I'm saying? When you're dating these different women, you know, you could get caught up in so many different things, man. Like she might have a jealous ex. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of things. You know, when I used to go out of town, you know, I used to shoot. I used to have set out. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, chase. You know, I'd be chased. That was part of my trip. You know what I mean? So, you know, I mean, I did this for years, man. And I mean, like I said, it's real fun being single because you don't know what type of surprise you're gonna come up on. I keep saying that. It's fun. You know what I mean?
I think
I
think
mean,
men benefit more from marriage than women. So
No,
I agree for you. It's great.
not off from a functional male. You do not.
I ain't gonna lie.
You're gonna benefit.
I'm not
you get
gonna
a
lie.
lot.
One of the big. I mean, listen. One of the biggest benefits is, and again, I'm sure you're gonna talk about the ragamuffin niggas that you date.
I am not.
Let me back this up. One of the biggest benefits is not having to be head of household. Not having to deal with the entire household and the bills and all of the things, the pressure that comes with maintaining and keeping your house afloat. Again, I'm sure you're thinking of the Tyrones and the Dre's and the Pookies that you probably dated in the past. I see the face. But I'm talking a real man situation. It literally, if you're dating a real man, there is a financial relief that you experience. And that's one of the biggest benefits to it, period. You get to live a softer, easier life, the entirety of it. Or if you're single, then you can be me. And be responsible for all of it.
But listen though, didn't we have a conversation where we encourage women to, you don't have to date a man who makes what you make, that if he makes a little bit lower, you can get with him, you guys could build it up. Don't we have that type of conversation?
Absolutely. Different men present.
Right.
But see,
so that soft life that you're talking about, she can't experience that because she's gonna have to help build them up.
Well, we talked about everybody's an individual. We all bring different benefits. Every man doesn't bring the same benefit. Every man doesn't bring the benefit of money. Every man doesn't bring the benefit of support and push. So,
and they can still consider themselves a good man.
There are men who bring financial benefit.
But come on, let's not go into the stereotype that black men ain't making money. Like I said, on average, we make more than black women. Okay, so let's just put that out there.
I don't think we're going through that stereotype, but we can on one hand be like, okay, ladies, if a man make less to you, he could be a good guy, you know, help him build it up. But then be saying, well, the benefit of marriage is that he's going to take care of you and you're going to have a soft life. Well, it's going to be a while before we get to that point if I have to build him up.
Well, date a man is making more than you then, and that solves your problem. And like I said,
different men bring different benefits. There are men who make money who that you can live that soft life with. Absolutely. Right. There are men who are supportive, who maybe don't have that money. But it all comes down to you knowing what it is that you want, what you're missing, what you desire. If you walk around all day feeling like I don't need anybody for anything, then you're not going to value someone who supports you. You're not going to value someone who takes bills off of your plate. You're not going to value someone who pushes you to be a better person. You're just not going to see the value in that because you feel like I don't need none of that. I'm great by myself. So without knowing that you're missing something, without knowing that something different is a benefit to you, you'll never see a benefit.
Right.
I don't.
And having a man there that takes care of his business, allows you to be feminine. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to be all aggressive and I ain't trying to. You could just be your sweet self. You know what I'm saying? And you could just if you could let him lead. That's part of being feminine. You know what I'm saying? But if you always got something to say, you know what I'm saying, he ain't never doing enough to satisfy you, then you just gonna be one of them old bitter females. You know what I'm saying? For real. So you gotta look at it a little
that's a
differently.
stereotype. Just because
No,
you don't
I'm
get.
telling
Do
you
you know
that
how many
that's
women,
the
how many
case.
of our aunts died without our grandmothers died and their husband been dead for like 20, 30 years and they never remarried? They
But
didn't remarry because, they respected them. They were just like, oh my God, I'm tired of men. And
well,
it's not even necessarily that it's a bad relationship, but women tend to do more of the emotional work in a marriage.
But
For instance,
that always goes back to picking these wrong ass niggas for the longest.
it's not even wrong dudes. Even your good dudes are
Genuinely,
like that.
genuine. How would y'all know? Y'all walk right by him every day and don't talk to him.
So wait, do we have a
Won't
lot
be
of good dudes,
shit.
or either we have a lot of good dudes, right?
There is a
Have
very
some good dudes.
There is
a
a
lot.
very fair amount of good dudes who don't get any play at all. A very fair amount.
A fair amount of good women get played. Because Chuck
Absolutely,
has
I
told us
agree.
that he has sit here and ran out. He turned out like a lot of good women.
There are
I
good women
did.
out here.
No, I don't. Like I said, I take accountability for what I've done to society. Like I said, there were so many good women that I did run across when I was in my whole stage that, like I said, I wasn't emotionally available for. And once I wanted more, I tried to revisit them. And like I said, with the self-preservation thing, they was like, nah, dude, you done already got me the first time. You ain't gonna get me again. You know what I mean? But like I said, if they would have listened to me, look at the benefits they would have had. You know what I'm saying? You would have
He's
been
a
with a winner.
changed man.
You feel me?
No,
You been with a
There are
winner.
good. There's good women out here for sure. There's absolutely good women out here. I've met them in my younger years. I meet them here and there now. I just wish that they would spend some time with the good men versus the ones that aren't, because I feel like the opinions of most women are shaped by the non-good dudes in the first place. And then all dudes get a bad rap when it's like all you've experienced is that. So for example, I was talking to a person, and this may stick, it may not, but we were essentially talking about this dude who had gone to jail again. Now this dude, he's got like tattoos all up his neck and whatnot, and um, tattoos, all this other stuff. And the thing is, he went to jail, and there was an issue with several females, all kind of getting the call. I guess the main girl had got his phone when he went to jail, whatever. And there was this whole thing with all of these different women. He's communicating with different women in jail, all this other shit. Drug dealer, known cheater, lots of women. They're all around. He's in jail. Everybody's there for him. The irony in that is that most 9-to-5 workers, if they went to jail tomorrow, wouldn't have a single female that would be there to be calling them and supporting them and trying to do all of the other stuff that this man is doing. So what happens is that we're all attracted to the same guy. And he ain't shit. He got 5 chicks. But this good guy who worked in 9-to-5 has 0. Now, these 5 women experience this bad guy, and then they go out, experience another, and they go out and they spread to everyone what guys are like. And it's like, man, y'all all dated the same dude. Y'all all have the same baby dad. Like, you are all talking about the same man, and what we're saying is that he is not everyone. Furthermore, most of us mature as we grow. Just like the Love Doctor, just like myself, in my 20s, I wouldn't have wanted anyone's daughter or whoever to date me either. I'll be 40 at the end of this month. Well, what Irv said, I'm a catch. I'm a good catch or whatever. I feel that way now, genuinely. I didn't feel that way in my 20s. I wasn't mature enough. So we also mature and grow. So same thing. If a young lady dated me at 22 and she saw me today and pointed at me, she would probably tell you bad things. But if she knew me today, she would probably have good things to say.
Yeah. I mean, I think we keep focusing on the fact that when I say marriage benefits men more than women is not necessarily that these women are dating bad men. Because some of these men are good men that they're married to, but a lot of the load is on the wife. Statistically, and just to bring up, if you
How
did a search
so?
on,
Explain that.
I'm about to tell you. So
Okay.
if you did the benefits for women for marriage, Google tells you shared income, access to benefits, inheritance rights, right? Financial wealth, right? Money, social support, risk of social isolation. So if she's in a marriage, people already up her value because she's in a marriage. Doesn't matter what the quality of the marriage is, just because she's attached to a man, her social status in rise. She encourages healthy behaviors and discourage unhealthy behaviors. It says that she has legal protection, decision making, spousal support, and her children grow up with a married partner. Like, okay, like those are benefits, right? Let's talk about the men benefits. Emotional support, reduce depression. Married men have a lower risk of depression, greater life satisfaction. Married men are more likely to be satisfied with their lives in retirement. Higher earning. Married men earn more than single men, according to Black Men's Health. More savings, access to super income. Longevity. Married men live longer than unmarried men. Better cognitive function. Reduced risk of Alzheimer's disease. Improved blood sugar levels. That's a whole hell of a lot of benefits for men. And women get some money here and there. We're not talking about their mental health, because most women aren't in situations where they can be taken care of. There's some men who can, but the women that you guys know, how many of them, their men take care of them completely? They have men that they don't have to work.
Well, here's the thing.
Oh gosh.
I'll answer that a different way.
Mm.
How many single women do I know doing it on their own that could benefit from having a man in their house? Just about all of them. Just about all the ones I know. A good man, obviously, because it's a double-edged sword.
You can benefit from anybody. A good woman.
It's a double-edged sword. Now, I do agree with that. Two women can partner up, and you could experience those. There's benefit in partnership, and that doesn't always have to be man-woman. I get that part too. If two women decide to link up, whatever, you can experience some of those same benefits. So I totally get it. But if you are a single woman doing it on your own, the ones that I know could benefit from having a man at home. The women that I've met, who I've dated, I would literally change their lives by being their man. You have a bigger home, a better car, someone to rear your children where there wasn't one before. Like all of these things are majorly impactful to the lifeline of what you got going on. They're not just small things. So it really depends on what you need. If you don't need shit, nobody can do shit for you. But if you have needs, if you're raising children on your own, if you are paying the bills to your house on your own, if your car is beginning to break down on you, if you do have this great idea from this business, but you can't really conjure up the capital to get it off the ground, like if you got things that you need, then a spouse can be a benefit. But if you got it all covered, then nobody can do anything for you.
Right.
Go ahead.
Let me add to okay, in response to Champagne, I got to push back a little bit on what you said.
Okay.
Now, of course, like, what your stats are saying that married men make more than single men. The reason for that is most Black men will not get married unless they are more financially secure anyway. We don't feel comfortable marrying you if we ain't got nothing, like we can't figure it out. We don't feel like a man if we ain't making decent paper for real. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
rich men get married.
Of course, they're going to make more because we're more stable to get married at that
time. That's when you get married.
That's untrue.
No,
it's untrue. Dante, Chuck, when y'all got married, you told me that your wife knew you had some ups and downs, that a woman can marry somebody who's broke. And at that time, you didn't have any money. So you weren't bringing anything to the relationship. But once you got into a relationship, you made more. So we can't say that men wait till they have money to get married.
No, listen. That was, for one, my second marriage. Okay, I was almost 50, right? I already had a game plan. But when I was coming to Vegas, my car broke down in the middle of the country. Okay. So at that particular time, I was down. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And I had to figure my way out of it, but I had a game plan. So when we did link up, she had different things. And yes, we working together. We absolutely increased our income together. You understand what I'm saying?
I don't think there's anything wrong with that either. So that's not what I'm saying.
No, but there's also a great deal of black men who also were all along husband material, who did things the right way, went to law school, went to school to be a doctor first, went to school to be an electrician, got whatever it was that they were going to do, got into their career, and then took on a wife. That's the right way as a man to mentally process. We don't want to get married while we're going through law school. We want to finish, get the job, and then get married. That's how we mentally process. So there are many men who did it the right way. Went out there, went to school, did whatever, opened their business, whatever the case. And then once you had what you had, you took on a wife and a family at that point.
I don't think that's our average in our community, though.
I think that of course it's not the average. How many doctors and lawyers do we have average in our community? The average in our community ain't shit. We got the average. I'm talking about in that number of married men. Those ain't the ones those are most of our good ones, Champagne. Those are most of the ones who did things right, who went to school, who have a career, who are doctors, who are lawyers. These are most of the ones who are athletes, who did it the right way. So in those numbers are the majority of niggas who did it right. The majority of our community isn't married. They're not in that number.
So you mean niggas as in men, or niggas as in black people?
Basically.
I'm sorry, Chuck, but you had a point earlier before Dante started calling everybody niggas.
But all I'm saying is that I think the perception is always that black men ain't doing this and ain't doing that. But I mean, the guys that I'm seeing, like dudes is out here working and they doing their thing. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of times the only thing that's missing is that right person. You know what I'm saying? I mean, and like I said, you talking about like there's less benefits. I mean, when you have a man that's functional, that's doing his thing, that has ideas, that what I'm saying, that is a benefit to you. A man on a mission, you know what I'm saying? That's somebody that has plans, that has goals. You know what I'm saying? That's what you want to get with, not somebody that's comfortable being in the club, you meeting him there, this and that or whatever, but somebody that's actually being productive, a productive person in the society. That's what I think you need to kind of look at. You know what I'm saying? Because there's a lot of productive men out here. I'm telling you, like, I mean, like I said, I don't know the guys that you talk to. I mean, I know some cats.
I don't know why you keep saying like the guys.
I don't know. Everything you say, you saying negative things. Like you acting like every dude that you talk to, he ain't got nothing going for himself. You make more money than him. I mean, come on, man. Like you act like there's no good guys out here.
It's not. I never said that there wasn't good guys. I say even with good men in good relationship, women still have more of the balance of the marriage. They're not really concerned about money. You have women who like making their own money. They like working. They like that. They want other things. Like you want to support a man who sit here and he talks to you. Y'all have a conversation and y'all go back and forth and y'all have conversations that grow and pick your mind. They want someone who's like, hey, babe, I feel like shit today. My period started. Oh, well, let me get you some lube. You can lift this. And let me do. Like, they want more emotional support. They want that. That's what they're looking for. Yeah, that's what.
Hold on, okay, hold on. No, let me butt in here. For one, I ain't going to the store buy no pads. All right,
look at that.
I don't do that. All right,
I would.
I'm not. Y'all can do that. I'm not doing that unless you can't. Unless your leg is broke, I'm not buying no pads. But anyway, listen to me. So now, as far as you're talking about like there's no benefit. This is the thing, okay? And this is the dynamic in my immediate family, right? Mm-hmm. I am my mom's oldest son, right? And mm-hmm. I am the guy. Like everybody comes to me when they need help with different things because they don't really have a guy to go to that can actually help them with things. So they protocol everything through me when they need to get shit done. You know what I'm saying? I mean, so I am that guy that they have to come through. If it wasn't for me, they would be struggling. Trust me. I'm the guy in my family that everybody comes to. So, like I said, for you to say that there's less benefits, you can just ask all the women in my family the type of benefits they getting from Chuck. You know what I'm saying? So
I don't think that's supporting your view on marriage.
I don't see what you're talking about here because you need that male because you're incomplete without a male. You're incomplete. Just like I said, I was out here in the streets all this time, and like I said, it was fun, but there was something more that I knew that was empty within myself. So that's why I had to change. But if you keep on thinking that, oh, you don't need, but no, you really do. You just think that you don't because you've been programmed to think that way. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you have a feminist approach to everything that we talk about, Champagne. Straight up.
I have a free thinking woman's approach. I don't believe that just because we did it in the past means that we have
but
to
you don't even see the benefit to being with a guy. That's already a negative connotation already.
No, I said I don't see
it.
I didn't say I don't see a benefit to guys.
Why do you think that your benefit more than what a guy benefits to you? That's just ridiculous. For real.
Women,
you can have any women in my family if I'm a big benefit to them.
Are the how many women in your family are married?
Huh?
How many women in your family are married?
That's what I'm saying. None.
Okay. So none of them are married. But there's a lot of good men.
They need me for a lot of shit. Straight up. They protocol.
There's a lot of good men.
If they had a man, I wouldn't have to do this shit. For real.
So I there's not a lot of good men out there. That's by and large. You have to search through them and find them. But a lot of women, because a lot of us as people try to push women, oh, get married, just get married. He's a good guy. Yeah, and men are different when they're around women. Okay, how they act around their boys is not how they act around the women, and you can tell that.
Not with me.
Tell that.
I act the same way. This is me. You guys, anybody I know. I don't care. That's why I don't have no problem on Facebook, whatever. Everybody that's ever known me, this is me. I don't change for nobody. Ain't nobody fucking ruling my shit where I gotta tuck my damn tail in. Shit, this is me.
And furthermore, I didn't say there's an issue with being in a relationship. I prefer marriage to be as, hey, you know what? I want someone to be with. I want someone to enjoy their time with. I want to be with someone who I like being with, not I need someone to help me pay these bills. Let me go ahead and get married. I think that's what puts up in a lot of jacked up situations that you come out of a place of need for people. I feel like people should get whole and you find a partner who you love to be around, but not that you have to like struggle and be fragmented.
Well,
that's why you can just be friends. You can be girlfriend and boyfriend. I think it's positive. Very positive. But divorce, what's the divorce rate? 46%.
If you think your value is more than his, then you already at the end of you at the short end of the stick already.
I don't think my value is more than his. I just think he benefits from marriage more than women benefits from marriage.
I mean, again, man, listen. So first of all, I started off the show by talking about how we all were individuals, and the thing is, as individuals, that's going to be an individualistic approach. Champagne, you a single woman with no kids who makes her own money. If you had 6 kids, you'd probably find benefit to having a husband.
Yeah,
I see. Some women out here who got 4 kids that's struggling, who like, girl, I'll take him. You know, like totally like I need help. You know what I mean? And having another income. Now, again, it's some men who coming in with a bunch of kids. He got 6 kids. He can't benefit you. How he helping you? Technically, you helping him. So like it's ebbs and flows depending on the situation. There's a man out there who has a lot of money, who could help you with money. That might not be what you need or want, though. So it really comes down to even knowing what it is that's going to benefit you. What do you want? What do you need? Somebody to support you in this area or to push you here, or somebody who's just there for me and loving, who's going to make me feel like no matter what I do, they're still always going to be there for me. Like there are little things that you need. And when you find that, it is absolutely, completely a major benefit to your life. It makes you feel whole.
I can see the benefit to that, but I also see like, why not just be girlfriend and boyfriend? What is the marriage? Does it matter to be married? Why can't you be girlfriend and boyfriend forever?
Well, that's what protects the female, though. I mean, here's the thing: like, is you the woman who, if we want to talk about whether or not you really like somebody and you want to be with them, say 25 years. The benefit to the woman is to actually be married on paper in the courthouse. That's how you get taken care of at the end of the day. When you boyfriend and girlfriend,
what do you mean by that? Why is that a benefit? What does that provide for her?
So when you married by name, you are entitled to the benefits associated with the passing or death of that spouse. When you a girlfriend for 20 years and that man, when you wake up next to him the next morning and he's dead, you just got a dead boyfriend on your hand. Husband, benefits. So anything that's associated with that, whether he's military, whether he's a vet, whether he gets something in an accident or something happens to him, like any of those things. I mean, marriage covers you, better insurance rate and all that shit too. So like in the court system, I mean, marriage is gonna protect you at the end of the day.
Right.
But
And then
Rather than being with a nigga for 20 years who's just your boyfriend, technically that ain't smart, technically.
unless you're Rihanna.
yeah, and then let me add in too. I mean, Champagne
point.
referenced about how the marriages in the past, when people were married 50 years, but they weren't happy and things like that. Like I said before, people do evolve. And sometimes, when you get married, when you're like, 18, 19, and you married 50 years, you might grow apart in a lot of ways. But a lot of times people stick together because they stay, like I said, marriage is an institution. So if you have one of those 50-year marriages, it is a possibility that you can grow apart. Now, like I said, every marriage is not going to work. We already know this. So of course there are going to be relationships that people are unhappy and things like that. I mean, that just goes with the, with the program. But there are a lot of successful marriages too. A lot of people that are married for more than like 25 years normally die within like a couple years of each other because they're so attached, emotionally and everything. A lot of them die. It's crazy. Like they die for real because their life is so, intertwined that once that part is ripped from them, it's like, man, a lot of like,
Broken heart, man, for sure.
Quick. Yeah,
that will to live is gone.
Yeah. So I'm, so I'm just saying, like, I mean, I just, when I just see like somebody just like, and a lot of women have this thing where it's just like, man, I ain't trying to get married. I'm cool where I'm at. I just think that you're just cheating yourself a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Because if you do find that right guy, you can, and a guy finding the right woman, your life will be so much at a higher level, man. Like, what I'm saying, that you have this connection with somebody that, that you could put all your trust in, and, what I'm saying, and you could just build and just do a lot of things that you can't do when you're single. You know what I'm saying? And I just hate to see that.
There's a certain, and having been married before and dated and whatnot, there's a certain level of peace or security that comes over you that's different than when you have a boyfriend and girlfriend. Because even though you can always get a divorce, it's like when you're boyfriend and girlfriend, that person can always walk out the door. But it's something about that security that comes with we locked in, rings and all. And again, I won't speak for everybody on this. I'm sure other people would experience the same, but maybe not everybody. But there's just a weight lifted, a pressure lifted when you married, when you got it locked in, and it's like, it's us, this is my person, they're not going anywhere. Even your failures and mess ups don't feel the same. They don't have the same pressure of like, oh my God, like I messed up. What if she's gonna, it's a different feeling. And I will say that was peaceful for the time that I did have it.
Would you do it again?
She ain't going nowhere. She can't go nowhere.
Shut up. See, you trapping them.
No, but it feels secure. Like, for a fact, okay, we made the decision to like, we're doing this. You know what I mean? Like,
oh my God.
Would I do it again? Absolutely. I do think that if I were to get married again, it would be for different reasons than I did the first time. But I would absolutely get married again. The first time I got married was large in part to reproduce. I was turning 25 years old and was like, hey man, I'm getting old. I need to get some kids out here. And I chose based on that. I asked my partner about health with her family. I asked her about breastfeeding, and I asked her about, her child and how quickly he read and walked. And I made a lot of judgment based on how she was bringing up her son. And it was like, okay, I want that. Cool. My second marriage, if I do get married again, it's going to be for a partnership and the ability to live a better life together. I like to do things. I like to see things. I like to go places. The reality of it is those things are better done with a person, and they're easier to do when you come together financially and you have the money to do it. So I absolutely would get married again.
All right. We are about almost out of time. Y'all, final thoughts before we get off the air?
I will say, ladies, don't rush into marriage. If he ain't right, don't do it. I would rather be single than to rush into something that's not right. Find someone who fulfills you and make sure that it's something you want to do. And if it doesn't happen for you, you are not damaged. It's okay.
All right. What about you, Dante? Final thoughts?
Hey, man, marriage is a double-edged sword. It can go up and good. It can come down and go bad. The key is choosing the right person to go through it with, making sure that you want the same things, making sure that you know what you want. That's all I got for you.
All right. Well, hey, y'all, that's our time. My final thought is, listen, man, from being a happily married man, like I said, being on both sides of the track, I would advise you to don't give up. Like I said, you know, I didn't make my change until I was like 45 years old. Like I said, I was out here in the streets and, you know, I explained that in the intro. But now that I'm actually locked into somebody who, you know, who I know that I can trust and everything, I mean, I am completely happy. I ain't got to be chasing these hoes. You know what I'm saying? I'm just completely satisfied with life. I feel that my life is complete now. So don't give up. Have a positive attitude. And if you see the signs in the beginning that somebody ain't right, then stop messing with them. Don't waste your time. Find that person that you know, or like I said, or that has a high probability of being that person for you. So just don't give up. So that's my thing. Like I said, that's our time. Please join us again. Same place, same time. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. We love y'all. Keep coming and please tell all your friends about us. Please. Peace.